Hello and congratulations on getting access to this video course, and I'm going to walk you through how to create a profitable authority blog. So this is video number 1, which is the introduction and getting started. Now, before we jump right in, I want to jump in and talk about mindset because I want to make sure that you're in the right mindset before we get started. Because I'm a big believer that if you're in the right mindset, you'll be able to implement everything at a faster and more accurate pace. So what I found over the years is that too many blog owners fail because they focus on the misconception or the belief that if you have the right tools or you have the software tools or the WordPress platform or the right blogging platform, then you'll succeed. But the reality is that really, it's not about the blogging platform. It's not about the software tools or any of that. What really it's about is figuring out what your strategy is if your niche that you're going to go into is going to be profitable or not. That's really what it's all about. So the secret is to start with a niche that you are truly an authority in. So this video course is all about that, how to find your niche, but how to make sure that you're in fact the authority. And we're going to put things through a test, and you'll see several tests in the beginning to make sure that is true. Plus, in addition to that, you want to make sure, of course, that it is profitable, that you have enough products to sell, and that you can increase your revenue stream. So what I want to do now is give you a quick overview of what's inside this video course. So you know exactly what to expect. And then, of course, you'll be able to see all the pieces of the puzzle, and then you'll be able to implement them at a faster rate. So this, of course, is video number 1. Video number 2 is find a profitable niche. So we're going to do some brainstorming. And video number 3, we're going to do the longevity test to make sure that that niche can last a long, long time, for decades, literally. And video number 4, we're going to talk about the authority test to make sure that you are indeed the authority. How do you know? We'll ask some questions that you can answer. We'll put you through some tests to make sure that is the case. And of course, number 5 is going to be the competition test to make sure that you have enough competition. And video number 6, we're going to talk about the product test to make sure that everything is going to be profitable for you in the long run. Because the worst case scenario is you jump into a niche that has a high demand, but it's not necessarily profitable. And of course, video number 7, we're going to talk about topic generation. So we're going to take the niche that you decided upon, and I'm going to show you how to use free tools to gather intelligence to figure out what actual topics are in demand. Because it's easy to create topics out of our head, and that's great. And some of those might be high in demand, but we can verify these with actual tools online. And video number 8, we're going to talk about blog post creation. Video number 9, we're then going to talk about blogging platforms. So if you notice, a lot of videos 1 through 8 is all about strategy, planning, getting it right. And once you do that, then you can move on to setting up your blog. Then you can think about the software tools and all of that. All right. So with that said, let's move on to video number 2. Welcome back. This is video number 2, and we're going to talk about how you can find a profitable niche that you are an authority around. And as we're thinking about that, I want to ask you a question, which is, what are you interested in? What are you passionate in? And I want you to keep that question in your mind. And the reason being is because I want to address an issue. And the issue is that many people tend to choose niches based on profitability. And that's the wrong way. Here's what you should look for. You should look for something that you're interested in, because if you look at the profitability or the money first, you will fail eventually, because you'll eventually run into a roadblock and you will get overwhelmed, it'll be boring, and you'll have no interest in it to continue. And another thing is you won't look like you really know what you're talking about. So start with your passion And the great thing about that is that people will trust you. They will begin to see that you're passionate about it. Have you ever been to maybe a blog or a webinar or something of other, and you have noticed that the speaker is not passionate whatsoever? They just feel like they're there because they're there. Does that really make you want to trust them? If they are not really passionate, that you can tell that they don't really know what they're talking about, but they're just trying to get by, that probably turns you off, right? Well, same goes here. You don't want to portray that in any way. What I'm trying to get here is that you want to portray yourself as the expert. And to do that, you need to be passionate about the niche. So over time, like I said, things will get boring and you will lose sight. And once you've lost sight, that is the beginning of failure. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set you up for success. Now, here's an example here. A while ago, I considered a niche called scrapbooking. I had zero interest in it, but I did this because I was trying to follow the money. What happened was it flopped. It died. So what I realized over the last decade was what gets you over the roadblock is being passionate about the niche. So here's my recommendation to you, and I want you to take this exercise and just go ahead. Step one, just pull out a pen and paper, pause the video if you want to, and just sit down and just begin to jot down all of your hobbies, things that you've invested money into, things that you've been passionate about. Maybe it's something that your family's passionate about. Think about all the pains that you've been through or your loved ones have been through, and jot those down as well. Because let's be honest, if it's a pain, you've probably done enough research about it to know the advantages and disadvantages of certain solutions and all of that. So let's say, for example, you have had a kidney stone. If that's the case, then you passed it without needing surgery, then somebody else out there is probably going to want to learn from you, right? So you have some sort of experience in it. You felt the pain, you felt the suffering, you've been through and done that. So you can relate to the people that are going through it. So basically think of things that you're passionate about. And if you want to pause this video and just go ahead and do that, that's fine. After you've done that, step number 2 is now, out of these that you have written down, I want you to pick and choose the ones that you're extremely passionate about. Now, hold on to this, because in the next video, we're actually going to discuss how to ensure that you can make sure that you can do this for the long term and that this passes the longevity test, which is the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 3, and we're going to talk about the longevity test. So here's a quick and easy short test that you can utilize to figure out if you're really passionate about the niche in the long term. Because you might be okay right now, but we really want to know if it's going to last for a decade or more. So in the previous video, you created many different topics and then you chose one. Now, the fact that you're passionate about this topic means that you're more likely to succeed in the long term, but we want to make sure that is the case. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a timer, whether it's your phone, whether it's your watch. From this topic, what I want you to do is try to jot down at least 10 to 15 different but very specific topics around this one topic. So in other words, let's do half an hour. And let's see how fast you can create specific topics around this niche. So say, for example, let's take the example of kidney stones. We can think about with kidney stones, there can be dieting. For example, certain foods create kidney stones, and certain things, certain supplements can actually help pass the stone without surgery. Now, can you create 10 or more topics? So I created 2 out of those. Or let's say, for example, lowering cholesterol. We have dieting, we have exercise, we have cardiovascular exercise, we have aerobic exercise, we have other different options as well. So what we're trying to do is figure out how many topics you can create. So go ahead, do that now, pause the video. If you got 10, great. If you got 15, super. If you got 20, awesome. But if you got at least 10 within less than half an hour, then that's a good sign. That means that in your brain, you're able to produce topics right away and that you're actually passionate about this niche. Now, are you stuck? Let's say you tried it and you weren't able to think of anything. If you're stuck, then that kind of means that you need to move on to the next one. So look back on the list of pains and hobbies, pick another one, and go through the cycle again until you find one that works. Now, here's the final test. Let's say you found something that you were able to write 10 for. Is this something that you would feel comfortable writing day in and day out? Is this something that you're willing to get educated about and increase your knowledge about, read books about from other experts, talk to other people about, surround yourself with people who enjoy this topic, and would you be happy with all of that? If you said yes to all of these questions, then this might be a good topic of choice. So that brings us to the authority test next. Hello and welcome back to video number 4. This is the authority test. When it comes to being authority, you always want to be one step or one level ahead of your audience. What do I mean by that? I mean, if your audience are newbies, you want to make sure that you are at least in the intermediate level. Or if your audience are intermediates, then you need to make sure that you are an expert in that niche. And the reason being is because you need to be several steps ahead to ensure that you answer their questions. In other words, you need to make sure that you can gain their trust by providing value, and that way they understand that you have been through what they are going through right now. Because if you're going through what they're going through right now, they might see you as the same level as them. They don't really see you as the authority. They see you as maybe somebody who's a friend or somebody who understands what they're going through, but not yet has encountered the future. See what I mean by that? You have encountered the future, and therefore you can give them advice and tips to help them. So people want to know essentially if you are ahead of them, because basically the reality is if you do not know what you're talking about, people can see right through you. They won't trust you, and in the end, they will not buy from you. Because at the end of the day, people buy from people that they like and trust. So trust is a bigger, major factor here. So that's really what this whole formula is all about, is how can we get people to trust you? And ethically and rightfully so, if you know the niche, you know the advice and the tips, and you've lived it, then you're more likely to be able to connect. And by connecting, you understand their struggles. You see where if you find somebody that's just profitable and you're relying purely on somebody to write the content for you, so you're missing that emotional connection. So at the end of the day, if you think about it, people buy for emotion. They don't buy for logic. They justify their purchases with logic. All right. So with that said, if you're one step ahead of everybody else, great. If you're not, it might be something to think about. With that said, let's move on to video number 5. Hello and welcome to video number 5, and this is the competition test. So the big misconception is that there's too much competition. Oh no, this is not a good niche to go into. If anything, that is actually far from the truth. Having a good amount of competition means that there is a buying market. Why? Because typically what this means is the competition has paved the way, they have educated the market, and they've placed products out there. If the market doesn't really know what the products are all about, your competition actually has to educate the market before people actually will buy them. So basically, instead of having to educate the market, you simply come in, provide lots and lots of value, and you can move in, you can find out what your competition is doing, what your competition is not doing. Therefore, is a demand in itself. and actually do it. So let me go ahead and show you how to find competing blogs, spy on them to do the necessary competitive intelligence. So technically you can go to google.com and do a search for blogs in your niche. But a tool that I like to use is called buzzsumo.com. That's buzzsumo.com. And the reason why I like this is because this site literally analyzes the content that performs the best within the niche. So this really is going to help shortcut things for you. So if I go here and I type in, let's say for example, lower cholesterol, let's see what we get. Now, one thing to note is that BuzzSumo, it is a paid tool, but it will allow you to do some free searches as well. So if you want to pay for it later, that's fine if you get really serious. But for now, as starting out, you don't really need to pay for it. So if I type this in, you can see these are some blogs or websites that are actually getting a lot of engagement. And what you're trying to figure out is what are they doing to get that kind of engagement? So they have Facebook engagement, LinkedIn shares, Twitter shares, Pinterest shares. So obviously they definitely have social media. So what I want you to do is just jot down, what do you see that they are doing that you could be doing? So let's just take a quick look at these sites and see what they're all about. And by doing so here, this is a good way to figure out topics as well, which we'll talk about later on. But let's just take a look at the sites and see what they are doing. So if we go here, it's theheartysoul.com, and we can see they have different sections, one for food, one for body, one for lifestyle, and it's just these three categories, and then they have subcategories within each. So for example, food, when it comes to lowering cholesterol, there's breakfast, there's snacks, there's entrees, there's salads, there's quick and easy meals, there's sides, there's desserts, beverages, specific diet, brands to avoid, herbs, spices, and more. So you could even jot these down if you wanted to and categorize them. And if we scroll down, we can see that this article here talks about statins don't lower cholesterol. So statins is something that it's a drug that people use to lower their cholesterol. But it's saying in this study that it increases cancer and memory loss risk. So obviously this is a very controversial type article, and that's what they're doing to get all these likes and shares and more. Now, if we go to the other blogs and just take a look at how their site is laid out. So they have a topics. It looks like they have very, very general. It's not necessarily related to health, but they do have one section related to health. But this looks like it's just an article. But you can see the length of the article is actually quite long. It's a good, decent size article, maybe about 700. No, it looks more like 1,000 words. But nowadays, your articles and your blog posts can actually get to the length of 1,500 to 1,000 words per blog post. And of course, if you have videos, that's good too, to get people to actually stay. So we can see that these sites don't really focus just on cholesterol, but they focus on the overall arching view of health. Now, what this allows you to do is this allows you to create a profitable authority blog based upon a very, very specific niche. If you focus only on, let's say, lowering cholesterol or how to pass a kidney stone without surgery, then that might actually allow you to convert more sales because the person that you are attracting is more likely to be in that mindset, right? So for example, if somebody comes to this blog, they might be interested in lowering their cholesterol, of course, because of lifestyle, but they might be coming here because they're interested in relationships. So it's not really targeted. So that, I think, is something that could be improved and something that you could even do yourself. So that's what I would do. I would go to these sites, jot down at least 10 or so things that they could improve and that you could follow, that they are doing that is working for them. And you can compare different blogs to make sure that all of these blogs are doing the same thing. If they're all doing the same thing and they're doing really well in that area, it might be something that you can actually mimic. Hello and welcome to video number 6, and let's go ahead and do the product test. Now, at this point in the time, you know for a fact that this is a niche that you want to go into. But what we need to do now is we need to make sure that we are going to be able to profit from this blog. So what you need to do as far as product creation goes is figure out if you have an unlimited supply of products that you can sell to your market. Because the more products that you have, the higher your revenue stream is going to be. Now, there are different routes that you can take. You can either find affiliate products, or in other words, products that other people have created, and you can direct your traffic, your bloggers to, and you can send them there, and if they buy, then you get an affiliate commission. So you get a cut. Basically, if the vendor has a product, let's say a video course, and they give you 50%, for every sale that you make, you get 50%. Now, the nice thing about this is you don't have to deal with customer support. The downside is you only get half of the commission. Now, if you create your own product, obviously, you get 100% commission. So you are the vendor, so you get 100% of the product. Now, that's the nice thing about products, but product creation definitely does take time. And a shortcut of that is what we call private label rights products. What that means is you have somebody who has created a video course or a report or an ebook or some sort of product, and they are giving you rights to put your name on it and make it as your own. So the person creating the private label product, their name is not on it, so you pretty much get all the credit. Now, if you go find a private label rights product in your niche, let's say, for example, lowering cholesterol, and you compile a ebook or a report that somebody can buy, or you can turn that report into a video course that somebody can buy. Either way, product creation or private label rights, you get 100% of the actual revenue. So here's the thing. Finding affiliate products is great. It allows you to focus on your blog. But if you're unable to find many affiliate products, that just means that you're going to have to create your own products or find private label rights products. But I want you to understand that at the end of the day, the more products you create, the more you actually control yourself. So you actually own these products. And if you have 5 different products, you can cross-sell them. If somebody buys product 1, you're more likely to present them with product 2, 3, 4, 5. And if they like you, and if they like your products, they're more likely to buy the other products. And that's the beauty of this, is you can pretty much do however you wish if you own the product. So what I want to do now is just head on over to Google. I'm going to show you real quick how to find products that you can sell, if it's an affiliate product, or if you want a private label rights shortcut. So this is going to be a quick and easy exercise. Simply go to google.com, and then of course in the search box type in private label rights, and then place the next word to be your niche. So in this case, if that's lower cholesterol, let's see what we get. So you're going to see PLR or private label rights. You can do a search for PLR as well. Same thing, same acronym. And you can see that, you know, this is $3.49. It's 30 days to lower cholesterol, PLR ebook. And you want to make sure that you see what's inside the ebook. Now, I can't say for everything. Some ebooks are created with tons and tons of high quality, and some are created and they're not really good quality. So you really have to pick and choose. I mean, it's not really expensive. So at the end of the day, you can look at it, and if it's great, if it needs to be rewritten, you can hire an article writer to do a total rewrite of it. Or another thing you can do is you can head on over to Upwork.com or Fiverr.com, which is Fiverr.com, and find somebody to turn these articles into videos, which is something that most people don't do, but that's an extra step that you can take that really adds a lot more value. Now, aside from private label rights, finding affiliate products or products that have vendors who have created a product that you can promote to get an affiliate commission, you go to clickbank.com and you click on their affiliate marketplace and you type in a keyword here. So let's say cholesterol and see what we get. So out of this, we can see there's 122 products, which is a good thing. That means that we have enough products that we could potentially sell. And as you can see here, the initial sell is $24.45, and that means that you're going to get that amount of money. And some of these have rebill, so some of these have recurring membership sites attached to it. So if you sell it once, you can get paid over and over again over the course of a few months. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to just glance really quick. You don't have to buy anything right now, just kind of get an idea, is there actually affiliate products out there that we can sell and promote and get a commission? And we can see that there is indeed 122. All right. So another thing you can do is you can go to Google and we can say lower cholesterol or just cholesterol affiliate program and see what kind of affiliate programs are out there for products that are helping people lower cholesterol. And you would simply go here, you would take a look at it. You could contact the vendor to get more information or even get private access or complimentary access to the actual product to test it out to make sure that it is good for your list. So over time, if you build a list of, let's say, 500 people or 1,000 people, over time you have more leverage the bigger your list is, or the more interactive your actual list is. So lists can be email lists, it could be Facebook likes, it could be Twitter followers, and more. But this just gives you an idea about what is actually out there and if you have enough products to sell on your blog for the future.